morning, and thanks for joining us for a special edition of Fox 43 Morning News at 9. I'm Gabrielle Mediak. On the bright side, highlights positive stories and all the good things happening across South Central Pennsylvania. Over the next hour, you're going to hear the mission behind several local organizations and meet some good neighbors who are making a big difference right in our own communities. We're kicking things off with the Harrisburg designer who has a focus on sustainable fashion and what led to her big moment in the spotlight.
My foundation is unorthodox. It's kind of rebelling against the uniformity.
Gen Z clothing designer Cloudy Joby has taken the fashion world by storm, channeling the spirit of their childhood and their love for the earth.
I hope that people feel like they're in the sky or like they're in the clouds or they're deeply connected to themselves and nature and their form of expression.
Born and raised in Harrisburg, Joby learned to hand sew in 2nd grade and only became acquainted with the sewing machine at 19 years old.
When I was younger, I would cut up my clothes and I would get in trouble for it, and I didn't know why. It was bad to cut up clothes.
Joby's grown a lot since then, and so has their brand. They participated in every New York Fashion Week since 2022.
Every single year, I'm like, I'm not gonna do anything. Something always pops up and someone's always reaching out to me, which is nice to have a community of people who see you and to have a spotlight on you when you're doing a lot of hard work and you want to make a change and be heard and be seen.
Bringing new life into secondhand clothing, Joby reimagines them.
It's the best for humans to reuse and be sustainable as possible, especially now.
And one of those pieces made its way into the hands of one of the biggest and brattiest pop divas around. Charli XCX.
At first, it didn't feel real.
Their partner is to thank for the connection.
He was like, you have to answer your phone because you'll never guess who's on the line. It's Charli and my friend. They want you to send a skirt or pieces that you have.
Charli XCX wore Joby's pink utopian pixie miniskirt on tour in London. It's been seen by hundreds of thousands of fans.
It picked up the spark again for my creative kind of lifestyle.
And Joby says this is just the beginning of a revolution in the art of design.
I believe the future of fashion is with people like me and young designers who have a vision, who have a brand, who have big ideas that they think about every day. And we're going to keep pursuing them because it's our purpose.
Very impressive work there. Now to a story out of York County. This was a lesson in love where an assembly in the Dallastown School District turned into a beloved teacher's surprise proposal. We're showing you how the students at Ore Valley Elementary School were front and center for her big moment.
Also for Ms. Herbert's class, Braden Clancy.
That was the moment Miss Abigail Herbert got engaged to her longtime boyfriend, Braden Clancy, with a little help from her Ore Valley Elementary School family.
I think I just went into complete shock. I had no idea. As soon as I saw him with the flowers, I kind of put 2 and 2 together, but I was not expecting it whatsoever.
Honestly, I don't really remember what I said. I know I got "Will you marry me" out. Other than that, I have no idea. I couldn't even hear myself because it was so loud, but it was awesome.
Yeah. Let's do 10 times 2. How about that?
And those very loud screams you heard, they came from her very excited class of 3rd graders.
The students not only were screaming, I had a lot of students crying. I had a lot of hopeless romantics in the classroom. I had so many tears.
A lot of them asked if we were married now, too.
Yeah, a lot of students in the school thought we got married in the gym.
Facing forward!
Teaching has always been Abby's passion.
My students are amazing. They're the most important, one of the most important things in my life. They are a joy every day.
And Braden knew just how meaningful it would be to have her kids involved in their special moment. So a couple weeks ago, he went to scope out the area and plan with school leaders.
I was away for a training at another building in Dallastown, so he took advantage of every little second that I was not paying attention or not here to kind of orchestrate that.
The staff played it off as an assembly where students were being honored for their hard work.
They announced the names and the students came up, and I had passed out all 12 prizes, and I went to go back to my seat and the principal's like, there's one more.
And then when I was behind the stage getting ready to go out, I felt like my heart was going to fall to my chest.
and the plan went off without a hitch.
And I definitely wanted it to be in a way that she would never expect it, and it just ended up working out perfectly.
That day was just beyond special because I got to share it with, Braden and my family, and then my school family also too.
Braden and Abby plan to get married in the new year, and while they want to have a beach wedding, they're working on a way to get those students involved. Great job there, kids. Well, staying in York County, a horse therapy center is bringing a new competition to riders of all abilities. We're taking you to Walnut Grove Farms, where they're blazing a new trail in therapeutic riding. Unlike most people, Peyton Goresh actually looks forward to Monday mornings.
Super excited. She says horse as soon as we pull into the driveway. She knows some of the volunteers' names, and yeah, she's excited from the moment she wakes up.
She starts each week by riding with Milo at Walnut Grove Farms in Dover.
He looks for her when she comes, and he's just really a gentle giant. He really is with her.
The pair has become quite the dynamic duo over the past 4 years.
You can see when she's up riding, she's extremely happy, flapping her arms, and he's just really calm, smooth. He'll stop if she gets super excited.
While usually wheelchair bound, Peyton's mom says being up on the horse gives this 21-year-old a sense of freedom she wouldn't otherwise find.
It's given her a lot more upper body strength. It's made her happier. It's made her more vocal, given her more community involvement.
That sense of belonging, something owner of the therapy center, Renee Poff, has long supported.
It gives them something to lean on that's non-judgmental. They don't look at them as someone in a wheelchair or someone with a prosthetic leg or someone with autism. They look at them as a human being, and the relationship that starts to be created between horse and rider, it's pretty incredible.
She started the nonprofit back in 2021 with 34 horses, training riders to compete. So when a competition wasn't equipped to let Peyton ride, she jumped in and she created her own.
This is a sport that you can very easily include everyone. When the rider is up on the horse, everyone's looking down. So to ask to exclude someone from a sport that can be so inclusive with those accommodations, that's really why we went this direction and started this competition.
She launched the first Mid-Atlantic Alliance Therapeutic Championship at the farm this month.
Trying to come together and create something that we would leave no rider behind. We have included wheelchair-bound riders. We were able to include our pediatric cancer kids in this competition, and we did not leave anyone behind.
Renee says the key adaptive feature in the competition was a mounting ramp, allowing 19 people, including Peyton, to be included.
It helps me see her out like everybody else gets to be out. As a mom, it helps my heart to see her involved in the community and to see people treat her like everybody else wants to be treated.
Deaf and legally blind rider Daniel Schaefer was also able to compete.
It's the first time Daniel's ever competed in anything. So it's been great because we've been able to invite family members and friends, celebrating something that he can do and that he loves to do.
And parents and riders alike say they left feeling inspired.
I think there wouldn't be chances for people like Peyton to be able to be involved in things like this in the community if it weren't for nonprofits like Walnut Grove.
A sense of pride and feeling included, like they're a part of something really big, that is really the ultimate goal.
Walnut Grove plans to team up with other Mid-Atlantic state therapeutic programs and create an alliance to keep supporting all riders. Well, in our next story, we all know aging is inevitable, but a program spanning South Central PA is helping people maintain their independence well into their later years. We're going to show you how Senior Helpers is allowing people to age gracefully right in their own homes.
My grandfather was a very proud, independent World War II veteran, but as he advanced in age, he began to have a lot of health issues, which required a lot of hands-on support for him to get through his day.
After his grandfather's experience with senior care, Scott Gerson saw a need for improvement.
So when I became aware of Senior Helpers 3 years ago and learned about the services that they could provide to people like my late grandfather, to allow them to be able to age in place safely in their own home, I knew that was an industry I wanted to be a part of.
He's now the owner of Senior Helpers of Central Pennsylvania and driven by one simple mission: bringing care directly to veterans and seniors' doorsteps.
We provide everything from companion care to support for activities of daily living, such as bathing, dressing, toileting, meal prep, and transportation, all the way to support for seniors with chronic illnesses like Parkinson's and dementia.
Scott says it's not just a service. These helpers are what allow seniors to remain independent. They're currently helping more than 500 people across Camp Hill, Carlisle, York, Mifflinburg, and Hershey. And this growth has had a ripple effect, bringing more than 350 jobs to the community. Scott says what sets them apart from the rest is their center of excellence.
We built an entire client's apartment right here in our training center. So we have a mock bedroom, a mock bathroom, and a mock kitchen with all of the trinkets and decorations you would expect to find in a senior's home. But it doesn't only allow us to train our caregivers in a realistic environment, it also allows us to train the caregivers to see unforeseen risks, whether it be trip hazards as the throw rugs on the floor, or the lack of an appropriate support handle in the shower, with the intent of being able to ensure when we go into the seniors' homes we can identify this and make it as safe as possible for the senior.
And all the training and hard work seems to be paying off. Senior Helpers of Central PA was recently named the Franchise of the Year. Well, we're keeping the good news coming this morning. Coming up, how one breast cancer survivor from York County is helping other women still in the fight.
What do rat snakes love to eat? A lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches.
It's all about creating an environment to learn and laugh with reptiles, how Forgotten Friends makes learning fun for students. And as always, if you have a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back to our On the Bright Side holiday special. I'm Gabrielle Mediak. A breast cancer survivor says she didn't just beat the disease, but she found a new purpose while fighting it. We're sharing how this Hanover native found beauty in her battle and how she's now helping other women still in the fight. Much like the fish in Tammy Tasker's pond, she just keeps swimming.
Pretty good. Yeah. I just keep moving.
That's been her mantra for more than a decade now after being diagnosed with breast cancer.
But I would also visualize Pac-Man eating this tumor up, just getting it out of my body. And I know that sounds really kind of crazy, but I would just visualize this thing just being completely gone.
As a single mom at the time, she was determined to beat the disease.
My daughter just had me, so I was going to fight with anything I could.
During her battle, Tammy underwent chemotherapy, radiation, and then reconstruction.
I had no regrets like that. Once I made that decision, I didn't look back.
She's currently doing well, getting yearly checkups and continuing to be an advocate for early detection.
I kept kind of pushing it off, and I really shouldn't have. And now I know, like, if you have any concern whatsoever, you need to get checked out.
She's also raising awareness for the group, which took away some of the financial worry for her during an already difficult time.
I was so blown away by these folks.
Over the past 2 decades, Pink Out Charities has helped more than 500 local women undergoing treatment for cancer.
This charity stays in our community. This is for York and Adams County women. That's huge.
The group covers things like rent, groceries, utilities, which for Tammy was a game changer. So she decided to pay it forward.
I put myself where these women could be right now and the way that I felt. So it's more about beauty.
She leaned into her love of nature, and with some encouragement from her daughter, she started creating floral arrangements for others who are fighting.
She let me know that, hey, you're still beautiful. Just because you don't have any hair, it doesn't take away your beauty. So with the flowers, it's more about giving. Like, I want to give something for these women to see the beauty in the flowers.
And Tammy is so sweet. She actually gave us a floral arrangement here at Fox 43, and it was beautifully done. In our next story, a Harrisburg group is changing the therapy game, using tabletop adventures to help people conquer their anxiety, build up on their skills, and find connection. We discover how for some, healing comes with the roll of a dice. Rolling for initiative isn't just how a role-playing game begins.
This is your ship.
It's one of the many lessons the Badana Group teaches its players through games.
We utilize tabletop games, whether board or RPG, for therapeutic goals, educational goals, and skill building or capacity building goals. So anything from social skills, resilience, creativity, empathy, going all the way to help folks with anxiety, depression, or even autism support.
Licensed therapist Jack Birkenstock shared his personal experience of using childhood games as a coping mechanism.
Where their emotions are very much like a metronome. You follow this very steady beat.
And how it led him to create the therapy organization, helping children leverage fun while learning the fundamentals.
We were kind of like, wait a minute, what if we use gaming as a language? Because it's not confrontational, it's engaging, and we might create a shopkeeper who's maybe a challenging presence. If they're dealing with bullies, we can create like town guards in an adventure that simulate that kind of energy.
You know, move along, pick that up.
Every week, the organization hosts group sessions for people of all ages to level up their life skills, while on an adventure towards self-discovery through connection and creativity.
Hello, fellow pirates.
The story is where the therapy happens, so we have to keep it rolling.
And to strategize ways to address real-world challenges, the group created their own strategy game, ushering change through a fictional world.
The enemy of the game can be anxiety, pride, depression, sadness, what have you. But it's just this force that wants to create chaos in the world.
After fundraising and workshopping for more than 5 years, the group is preparing to release the game Branch Riders this summer.
We designed this specifically so that new people to this hobby could go, hey, I want to try that out. Like, cool, we have this very accessible game for you to try.
For therapeutic game master James Kirk and the rest of the team who developed it, its release is a full circle moment.
13-year-old me is looking around at everybody and going, see, I told you this would matter.
Well, if you have any games maybe tucked away in the closet, you can feel free to donate them to the group. They are always looking for more ways to bring people together. After the break, Cal Mechanicsburg Barbershop is helping those who often feel like they need a little extra help. That's after the break. And if you have a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. We'll be right back. Welcome back. A classic barbershop in Mechanicsburg has a unique exchange, setting it apart from everybody else. A haircut for a badge. We're taking you inside the space that is helping heal first responders and allowing them to look and feel their best.
And keep that faux hawk fresh. Tight on the sides. You got it.
Tate Yowie has been cutting hair for a decade.
The smell of the barbershop is the talc powder, the aftershave reminded me of going to the barbershop with my grandpa.
He owns Nybert's Barbershop in Mechanicsburg. The shop itself is 155 years old. It opened back in 1870. You'll find the vintage clippers and antique decor, but what sets this place and its owner apart can be found along this wall.
Oh my. Probably a couple hundred.
The rows and rows of emergency service badges.
I even have some I haven't even got a chance to put on the wall yet. I'm just getting them up a little bit at a time.
To Tate, it's more than just a collection.
The first shop that I worked at, I put my badge on the wall as like a little, here's where I came from.
He worked as an EMT across Dauphin County for 18 years before embarking on this new journey. A haircut in exchange for a badge.
The people who I used to work with started coming in to support my business now and would bring their own patches from their uniforms because they wanted to put their patch on the wall. And then it just took off like wildfire.
It's a tradition Tate started that has given fellow EMS workers a safe space to share their stories.
I think it's nice that they can come in, put their guard down, talk about difficulties within the job, and know that I understand it. And it's a nice place to just be able to unload and vent.
Jason Lloyd, a friend, client, and Harrisburg City firefighter, echoes that sentiment.
A lot of people can't let their guard down, and if you're willing to talk about stuff like that, then obviously that's the first step to it. And I think it gave people a lot of avenues to talk about that or tell their story.
For Jason and so many others, Tate's Barbershop has become more than just a place to get a trim. It's a safe haven for people who serve the community, and a reminder that even in the face of danger and trauma, they're never alone.
Tate makes me come back.
They can just be vulnerable and open up, and there's no judgment. And most of the time, I can relate to what they're talking about.
And Tate launched his own podcast, sharing stories from his time in the field. He's also authored a book, The First Line of Defense, My Life as an EMT, both of which he hopes help support our fellow first responders. Well, just ahead, there's much more than meets the eye to this RC truck. After the break, how a young boy is using it to help others fighting cancer. And we didn't forget about the Turtle Man, don't you worry, how he continues to help students understand the world of reptiles. Plus, as always, if you have a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share in the new year, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. We'll be right back. Good morning, and thanks for sticking with us for this special edition of Fox 43 Morning News at 9. I'm Gabrielle Mediak. We're sharing some of our most memorable stories from our On the Bright Side series, and we're continuing with a York County boy who's proving you're never too young to make an impact. The unique way he's raising money for breast cancer awareness. On the surface, Noah Robinson looks like your average 8-year-old boy who loves his RC truck.
We had crickets and stickers and a 3D printed SpongeBob.
But if you look a little closer, you'll find there's more than meets the eye to his truck and his mission.
Sandy, Susie, and Stacy. Sandy is our friend at a restaurant. Susie's my aunt, and Stacy is our friend at the pool.
Earlier this year, Noah watched his Aunt Susie and 2 other family friends battle breast cancer.
You could just tell when he saw Susie going through this whole process that the wheels were spinning. He was trying to think, how can I help? What can I do?
When he saw the toll that treatment took, he wanted to give them some encouragement along the way.
And I also wanted them to be strong.
So he worked toward getting a custom RC car to share that message of strength. But Noah didn't just ask his parents to buy it. He earned it.
He cleaned toilets, he dusted, he vacuumed, he watered plants, he helped outside in the yard.
And he got a little help from his community.
My mom put a video on Facebook about it, and donations from friends and family just came in.
He smashed his original goal, and then leaders with his school, Ore Valley Elementary, surprised him with an additional $460, bringing the grand total to $1,460, which Noah donated to the Cancer Center of York.
The money helps for them to get gas and pay for their bills and food because they don't have a job while they're in their treatment.
I was very proud of him. He has a big heart. He always wants to help, so it didn't really surprise me when he came to me.
And NOAA is already planning to rev up his fundraising efforts again next October for Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Well, looking ahead to the spring and to the summer, there's a good chance you might end up encountering a snapping turtle at some point. Whether you're out on a hike, maybe out on the water, even just crossing the road. See how one man is turning a typical school day into an up-close and personal experience with the world of reptiles.
So we put a blue line and the kids may sit anywhere up to the blue line.
Step by step, these turtles are making learning fun for students.
These are the reptiles. How many of you guys love reptiles? Raise your hand. Well, we are going to have a lot of fun meeting a lot of reptiles. Are you ready to meet a lizard with a beard?
Reptile enthusiast Jesse Rothaker brought his forgotten friends to Croix Creek Elementary in Hallam with the hopes of making these unique creatures more approachable.
Because what do rat snakes love to eat? A lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. It is the best job in the world when we walk into a school and we just see hundreds of kids and their faces just go like this and they have these big, beautiful smiles. I mean, to me, it just shows us that all of these amazing creatures that we share our planet with, I mean, they were put here for us to learn about, explore, and enjoy.
It's a passion he's had for as long as he can remember.
Ever since I was knee-high to a grasshopper, I was finding turtles and snakes and lizards and chasing after them to make them come back out. Everyone say worms and watermelon.
He started Forgotten Friend Reptile Sanctuary to help reptiles in need and to educate the community.
So they're going to be in our backyards, we're going to run into them on a walk, and so we need to learn how important they are, the things that they do for us, and the more we learn about reptiles, the more we'll learn to give reptiles a chance.
He's been spreading awareness for the past 20 years, making in-school visits.
Are you ready to see one of the largest turtles on Earth?
And making videos online, sharing advice on what to do if you encounter one of these creatures.
My son and I were on a bike ride last week and we ran into two very large snapping turtles. And so it was an opportunity for me, who's moved hundreds of snapping turtles, to teach my son now, age 14, how he can safely move a snapping turtle. So you grab that tail, that'll control him from spinning, and get that other one underneath. So you're gonna hold that tail with one hand and get your second hand underneath and lift up the turtle while you're holding the tail and supporting the weight with your other hand. And that way it's safe for you and it's safe for the turtle.
Jesse says his goal is to help kids develop an interest in these animals instead of an anxiety surrounding them.
Let's say you're on a hike down in Florida. Red touches yellow. Do you pick it up? Definitely not. We want kids to be comfortable around reptiles. A lot of people grow up with an ignorance and a fear factor about reptiles, and so we want to overcome that by bringing them into an environment where they can laugh and learn with reptiles. They're going to spin the tail and go whoosh. And to be able to share that with the next generation, to put a passion in their heart like I have in mine for these animals, I mean, it's the best job in the world.
Forgotten Friends puts out different educational videos every week. You can find a link to them right now on fox43.com. Well, a piano in Lancaster County brought the community more than just music. How it gave them a new sense of purpose, especially those experiencing homelessness.
We're just so excited that it's now out here in public and getting a lot of attention.
In the heart of Lancaster City, this bright painted piano sits quietly on Vine Street, but the impact it's making on the community is loud.
Restored to be Restorers is all about change and transformation. And our guests are on a very intentional journey in our residential program to make changes in their lives.
It was designed and brought to life by the Water Street Mission's residential program, which helps people who are experiencing homelessness.
a guest in the art studio was working on a beautiful sketch of a butterfly, and then it all came together.
The Music for Everyone program and the Water Street Studio offer anyone an outlet to get creative.
Base of the piano is a scene of a woodland, very peaceful scene with trees growing up to the top, and that's where the life cycle of the butterfly is shown.
And a space to be vulnerable.
It's not just what's on the canvas or the piano. It's about how it makes others feel.
Those involved say the piano carries much more than just music. It shares a story of transformation.
Breaking through barriers, of realizing abilities that may have gone untapped and laying dormant for a long, long time. A lot like a caterpillar in a chrysalis.
And they hope it'll inspire others to embrace their own creativity and to explore new opportunities.
They're learning more about themselves, learning to take risks, learning to come up with creative ideas, and that creates a new sense of purpose.
That piano was kept out all summer and into the fall. Well, in our next story, plenty of babies have been delivered at WellSpan York Hospital, but only one can say they were delivered right in the lobby. We're introducing you to the heroic security guard who jumped into action.
It began as any normal night would.
But for security officer Cameron Fox, this particular night at WellSpan York Hospital would turn out to be anything but ordinary.
A young couple came to the door. I opened it. She was screaming not really screaming, she was loudly speaking for help.
When they got into the lobby, he quickly realized Abigail and Kyle Bechtel were in a dire situation.
She was pregnant, in labor, and actively in labor.
So without a second thought, Cameron jumped into action.
I put some gloves on and got down there to help her deliver her child.
Baby Oliver was born at 3:39 a.m. on January 23rd, weighing in at 7 pounds and 11 ounces.
There really wasn't a whole lot going through my mind except making sure she and the baby were okay and safe and cared for until further trained personnel could arrive on scene.
Mom and baby are just a little bit busy, so they couldn't chat with us. But WellSpan staff says the pair is healthy and adjusting well. And they were able to reunite with Cameron after the whirlwind of an experience.
They were very thankful. They were very gracious people. I just reassured them that, that's why I do this job. I enjoy being there and helping people, regardless of how large or small the hurdle is that they're facing.
For Cameron, he says it's all in a day's work.
To be able to be a part of that with them was a special time.
So incredible to see our everyday heroes step up and make a difference. And that's really what On the Bright Side is all about. We, of course, want to wish a big congratulations to the family and to baby Oliver. Well, in a world that's dominated by digital sounds, a Harrisburg musician is reviving one of the oldest instruments. Meet the young organist that's bringing music to new ears.
I can feel the air move in the building. And so when the lowest pipes in the organ play, you can almost feel the church vibrate and the pews vibrate.
A historic centerpiece of cathedrals and concert halls is experiencing a resurgence in the hands of a new generation. And organist Ethan Draper is at the forefront of this musical movement in Harrisburg.
I had to wait until I was tall enough so my feet could reach the pedals to start taking lessons, but as soon as I started, I instantly fell in love with it and knew that's what I wanted to do with my life.
Ethan went on to become the sub-dean of the Harrisburg chapter of the American Guild of Organists.
It's such a versatile instrument, and you can have from the smallest of sounds to the biggest of sounds. It's powerful kind of to control an instrument that takes up half a room, so I enjoy that a lot.
The junior is now at Lebanon Valley College, pursuing a Bachelor of Arts in Music with a concentration in sacred music and organ.
It's so wonderful because you always bring the students in as freshmen and see their passions grow. And Ethan has an eclectic taste in music, but he had a particular affinity for Bach.
His passion earned him a prestigious grant to study at the Riemann Schneider Bach Institute at Baldwin Wallace University in Ohio.
And this was so exciting to see him achieve this goal.
He's the only person in the country to receive that grant.
It was very exciting, especially since it's very focused on the music that I love to play and research, so I was thrilled to receive the grant, and I'm excited to conduct my research this summer.
And in the hands of passionate young musicians like Ethan, the organ continues echoing through generations.
We have numerous young people wanting to play the organ, and so I see this as a very positive time in our history, and we will have many young people carrying on our trade.
And a little fun fact for you, the soundtrack to that story was played by Ethan himself. He plans to become a full-time church musician after he graduates. Well, there's more on the bright side just ahead as we look into the healing power of horses. And as always, if you have a bright idea or something positive you'd like to share with me, send me an email at gmediac@fox43.com. But next, here's an exclusive deal for our viewers. This is my friend Fancy at Heart Sing Horse Journeys. It's an incredible space right in Spring Grove where not only you can help the horses, but you can help heal yourself. For Nikki Jones, her connection to horses runs deeper than just a childhood hobby.
Horse was my first word.
From early riding lessons to navigating life's challenges, these intelligent animals have been a steadfast presence in her life. That bond took on a new meaning after a near-fatal fall in 2010.
That changed who I was and how I was. I was raised in a very traditional, you make the horse do what you want them to do. And that was kind of the way of horses and horse training. And then after that, I started searching for a different way, and that is where all of this healing work came in. In order for me to develop a relationship with them, I had to work on myself. And the beauty of horses is that they're emotionally congruent. So they know what they're feeling all of the time.
She cares for a herd of 23 rescued horses on her farm, each with their own unique story. Hoping to share the healing experience, she created Heart Sing Horse Journeys.
This place is a sanctuary. It's a sanctuary for horses and animals. It's a sanctuary for people. And our community, that's what it is for them. They come here and they know that they are accepted for who they are as they are.
It officially became a nonprofit in 2021 and serves people of all abilities and ages.
I get a lot of kids that really just need the connection, and it's changed them. It's changed them. And it's changed it for adults too.
Nikki guides participants through what she calls the 3 R's: regulation, resonance, and revision.
So you have this like breakthrough with the horse, and then you're aware. And then when you encounter that in another relationship in your life, whether it's with yourself or with someone else, then you're able to make a different choice.
And she says it's just as much about healing the horses as it is healing the humans.
If you think back to the beginning of the relationship with humans and horses and how they carried us, and now they carry us, but it's in a totally different way. Now they carry us to the journey within.
The group is hoping to raise a few $1,000s through Give Local York to help cover the costs of caring for and feeding the herd. Nikki covers much of those costs out of pocket, but says it's well worth it being able to see people and horses transform through therapy.
They come in and they're like, I don't know about all this, but I'm willing to give it a try. And by the time they leave, they're smiling, they're relaxed, they're happy.
What an amazing program that is. If you're interested in volunteering or even checking out the horse farm, you can find more information right now on fox43.com.
Oh,
Looking ahead,
my
there
God.
was
I've had so many life experiences.
Looking at a very big milestone and a very special birthday for someone who served our country. We'll have that story in just a few. But first, if you want to send me a bright idea, you can shoot me an email right now at gmediac@fox43.com, and we can share your stories into the new year. We'll be right back. back to our On the Bright Side holiday special. A local hero reached a monumental milestone this year. Meet the World War II veteran honored for his service on his 100th birthday.
You are a handsome young man.
For Bob Kemp, seeing his younger self in uniform offers a glimpse into his past.
When he was 17, he didn't even weigh 100 pounds, and they waived it to let him in the Navy.
The Baltimore native served in World War II, bravely navigating both the Atlantic and Pacific theaters aboard destroyers. He also served during the Korean War, and his travels led him all over the world.
I lived in Germany twice. I've lived in Bahrain. I've lived in Nigeria, Africa.
Bob earned numerous battle stars and then had a successful career as a defense contractor. But he says his greatest accomplishment was marrying his late wife, Iris Bridget.
Oh my gosh. I've had so many life experiences. I was married for 66 years.
He attributes that successful marriage to hard work and his mother's advice.
When I was 14 years old, my mother sat me down and said to me that girls are special and you should put them on a pedestal.
Bob remains in good health and he enjoys socializing at the Delta Senior Center, where he's made many friends.
We play cards together and he's very, very sharp with cards.
And those friends put on a special surprise just for him.
Oh, well, the surprise. I couldn't believe my eyes when I came in here and they all hollered. Happy birthday
to you. Bob has packed a lot of life and friendship into the past 100 years, and he believes the connections he's made here at the Senior Center have improved the quality of his life.
I enjoy sitting and talking to somebody like that. He's got a lot of wisdom, a lot of stories to tell.
Even at 100 years old, this baseball fanatic still has a good sense of humor.
I rooted for the Yankees for the first 100 years. For the second 100 years, I'm going to root for the Orioles.
And he shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. What a great sense of humor, and so good to see everyone coming together to celebrate him. Well, that's going to do it for this year's On the Bright Side special. We hope you and your family have a wonderful holiday as we head into the new year, filled with your own good stories and good memories. Have a good one.